I honestly don't even know where to begin because it feels like my whole life just got flipped upside down. For the last 5 years, I poured everything I had, time, energy, money, love, into supporting the woman I thought I would marry. And now, out of nowhere, she's gone. She left me for another man. Not just any man, but someone she met at her new job. Someone wealthy. Someone who, according to her, could give her the life she deserved. It still feels surreal. 6 years ago, we met at a small community event. I was 24. She was 21. The connection was instant. At least for me, it was love at first sight. She was everything I could have asked for: smart, ambitious, beautiful. We talked for hours that night. I walked her to her car, and I remember thinking, this is it. She's the one. At the time, I was working full-time as a warehouse manager. She was a college student with big dreams of becoming a lawyer. Her family didn't have much. Her mom worked 2 jobs just to make ends meet. Her dad was long gone. She confided in me early on about her fears that she might not be able to finish school, let alone make it to law school. Money was tight, and she didn't want to burden her mom any more than she already had. That was the first time I offered to help. I didn't even hesitate. I loved her, and when you love someone, you want to see them succeed. So I stepped in. At first, it was just small things: paying for groceries, helping with books, covering her phone bill. She insisted she didn't want to be a burden, but I kept telling her not to worry. It made me feel good to take care of her. Then she got accepted to a better university to finish her undergrad. Tuition was high, and she told me she might have to turn it down. I told her, no way. I'll find a way. And I did. I took on extra shifts, freelanced on weekends, sold off my old collectibles, even some of my favorite gaming consoles. Eventually, she moved into my apartment rent-free. I made it my mission to give her the space and support she needed to succeed. By the time she graduated, my savings were gone, my credit card was maxed, and I had taken out a personal loan. But I didn't care. She told me she was grateful. She said, I don't know how I'll ever repay you, but I promise I will. One day, then came law school. More debt, more long nights, more sacrifices. I picked up a second job as a delivery driver. Most nights, I was getting by on 4 hours of sleep, but I kept pushing. She was doing great. She made the dean's list. She landed internships at prestigious firms. I kept telling myself it was all worth it, that we were building something. But during her final year of law school, something changed. She grew distant, always busy, always glued to her phone. When we were together, it felt like she was somewhere else. I told myself she was just stressed, that once she graduated and got a job, things would go back to normal. They didn't. After graduation, she landed a job at a high-profile law firm in the city. I barely saw her. When I asked if we could spend more time together, she told me her career had to come first. I backed off. I didn't want to be the jealous boyfriend. I wanted to be supportive. And then one night, everything fell apart. She came home late. I could tell from her expression that something was wrong. She sat me down and said, we need to talk. She told me she'd been thinking a lot about her future, that she didn't see us working out, that I had been amazing, but we were moving in different directions. She said, you'll always be special to me, but I can't pass up the life I've always dreamed of. That's what she told me about him. A senior partner at her firm. Rich. Powerful. He understands my world, she said. He can give me the life I want. I was stunned. Numb. After everything, she was walking away. No remorse. No attempt to make it right. When I asked if she would repay even a portion of the money I'd spent on her education, she said, I never asked you to do that. You chose to. Those words broke me. The months that followed were the darkest of my life. I was drowning in debt, working 2 jobs just to stay afloat. Meanwhile, she was off living the high life with her new man. Fancy restaurants, designer clothes, weekend getaways. Her Instagram was a highlight reel of everything I had helped her achieve. It was like I never existed. Then, out of nowhere, a mutual friend reached out. Let's call him Mike. He told me something didn't sit right with him about her new guy. Rumors were swirling. So I started digging, and what I found was insane. The guy had been married twice before. Both times ended badly. His ex-wives accused him of manipulation and financial abuse. He had lawsuits, debt, even a fraud case that had been quietly settled. His image was all smoke and mirrors. A few weeks later, she called me. She was hysterical, said she didn't know who else to turn to. She had found out he was opening credit cards in her name, taking late-night calls, lying, cheating. She begged for help, apologized for everything. At first, I didn't want to get involved, but I couldn't ignore her fear. I sent her all the info I had, even connected her with a lawyer I knew. She used that to start the divorce process and separate her finances. She called again, a few days later, to thank me. Told me how he flipped when she confronted him. Threatened her. Tried to intimidate her. But she got out. Barely. She was staying with a friend, broke and broken. She asked to meet. I told her I needed time. Fast forward a couple weeks. I was in a coffee shop, working on freelance stuff when she walked in. She looked different. Not the confident, career-driven woman I once knew. She looked tired. Hello. She sat down, started apologizing. Again, said she regretted everything. That leaving me was the biggest mistake of her life. I listened, but I felt nothing. No rage. No sadness. Just nothing. I had finally moved on. And then, out of nowhere, the woman sitting next to us introduced herself. Said she overheard our conversation and was impressed by how calmly I handled it. She ran a marketing agency. Said she was looking for someone with crisis management experience. She offered me a job. I thought it was a joke, but I followed up, went in for an interview, and a week later, I was hired. Better pay, better hours, a fresh start. Meanwhile, my ex tried to get her old job back, but her husband had burned too many bridges. She ended up working in a small legal office, barely scraping by. She reached out again, said she wanted to start over, that she loved me, that she would pay me back. I said no, not out of spite, but because I finally understood my worth. I didn't need her apology, her guilt, or her money. I had something better. Peace. Today, I'm thriving. I paid off most of my debt. I'm working a job I love. And I'm dating someone new. Someone who actually appreciates me. Funny enough, she's the one who introduced me to the marketing agency owner. Life has a strange way of turning around. And sometimes, the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's simply moving on and living well.